Okay, so you want to own a golf course, 150 acres of manicured green that almost nobody could ever build again in that location, a clubhouse full of members paying dues year after year, tee times booked out every Saturday morning. It feels like owning land in its most prestigious possible form, the kind of asset that only gets scarcer while everyone around it keeps paying to use it. Here's the problem. Since 2006, American golf courses have closed faster than new ones opened in nearly every single year, more than 2,300 of them gone, and the industry only reached a real equilibrium again in 2026. So what actually happened to an asset that sounded this defensible? Here's the idea that explains almost everything else in this video. Most golf courses were never really built to make money playing golf. For decades, they were built to make the houses around them worth more, and the golf business itself was often just the marketing budget for a much bigger real estate deal. There are a few real versions here. A municipal course, owned by a city or county, usually prioritizes public access over profit. A daily fee or public course sells single rounds to anyone who shows up and pays. A semi-private or private membership club runs primarily on recurring dues rather than one-off green fees. And the golf real estate community model, the one responsible for most of what's about to be explained, builds the course specifically to sell the home lots surrounding it at a premium, treating the fairways as landscaping for a housing development rather than as a standalone business. This video is mostly about that last model because it explains the boom and the correction better than anything else in golf. A standard 18-hole golf course in 2025 costs somewhere between $5 and $15 million to build, with luxury courses running $25 million or more. Land acquisition alone typically eats 40 to 50% of that entire budget, since a regulation course needs roughly 150 acres and per-hole construction costs, covering earth moving, drainage, irrigation, and turf, run anywhere from $110,000 on a basic public course to well over $2 million a hole on a premium private layout. Add a clubhouse, maintenance facility and equipment, and permitting alone, wetland assessments, water rights, stormwater management approvals can take 6 to 18 months before construction even begins. Revenue comes from green fees, membership dues, cart rentals, the pro shop, food and beverage, and event hosting. On paper, that's 6 different income streams, which sounds like diversification. In practice, one single cost line quietly outweighs almost all of them combined. Course maintenance. Annual maintenance budgets run $557,000 at a typical daily fee course, $567,000 at a semi-private club, and past $1 million a year at a private club, with labor alone eating 56% of that budget. Industry benchmarking consistently finds that clubs spend roughly 32 to 34% of their entire gross profit on course upkeep alone, regardless of whether the course has 18 holes or 36, regardless of grass type or region. The number that actually determines a club's maintenance budget isn't the course, it's what the club can afford, full stop. Here's the part of this business that explains the boom and the bust at the same time. Between 1986 and 2005, American developers added more than 4,500 new golf courses, a 44% increase in national supply in 20 years. Most of them weren't built because there was suddenly that much more demand to play golf. They were built because a golf course, unlike almost any other amenity, reliably increases the value of every home lot arranged around its fairways, sometimes dramatically. A developer could spend $10 million building a golf course and recoup that entire investment, and then some, purely through the premium buyers were willing to pay for a house with a green view out the back window. The course itself didn't need to turn a profit on green fees or memberships. It needed to sell houses. Once the last lot sold, though, the math flipped completely. The developer was gone, the homes were sold, and whoever was left holding the golf course now had to make it survive as an actual standalone golf business for the first time, often without ever having been designed or budgeted to do exactly that. This is where it gets genuinely difficult for owners, even ones who correctly identify a course as a money-losing asset. When a golf course closes, nearby property values can fall 25 to 50% because the course wasn't just scenery. It was the specific amenity that justified what those homeowners paid in the first place. That creates enormous pressure, sometimes organized opposition and lawsuits, against an owner simply trying to shut down or redevelop a facility that's losing money every single month. An owner can be stuck operating a course at a loss for years, not because the business case supports it, but because the surrounding community, whose home values depend on that green space staying green, has every incentive to fight any attempt to close it. A well-run public course can reach payback in 7 to 12 years. A private club typically takes 10 to 15. Many profitable courses generate $500,000 to $1 million a year after expenses, with high-end clubs offering more revenue streams and higher fee structures clearing $2 million or more annually. But that range assumes the course was priced and positioned for its actual local market from day one, with a maintenance budget matched honestly to what the membership base can actually support, not to what a long-gone developer once needed to sell nearby lots. Look at what happened to the American golf industry as a whole. The building boom that added 500+ courses between 1986 and 2005 finally ran into the same wall the housing market hit. When the U.S. housing bubble burst in the mid-2000s, the golf courses that had been built purely to support real estate sales lost the only thing keeping many of them viable: a steady pipeline of new home buyers subsidizing the fairways. Starting in 2006, for the first time since the Great Depression, U.S. golf course closures outnumbered new openings, and that pattern repeated in every single year that followed except one. All the way through the mid-2020s, roughly 2,360 golf facilities closed their doors over that stretch. Closures peaked at 175 in a single year in 2017, and even as the pace slowed through the early 2020s, the industry didn't reach a genuine supply-demand equilibrium again until 2026, 2 decades after the correction began. None of this happened because Americans suddenly stopped enjoying golf. It happened because a huge share of the courses built during the boom were never really underwritten as golf businesses in the first place. They were underwritten as home sales incentives, and once the incentive had done its job and the developer moved on, an enormous number of courses were left standing on economics nobody had ever actually designed them to survive on their own. In the good year, membership retention holds steady. Water and chemical input costs stay roughly in line with the prior season. The surrounding real estate market stays strong enough that the course's presence keeps justifying premium home values nearby, and deferred maintenance stays genuinely deferred rather than accumulating. A course generating $1.5 million in revenue at a healthy margin can clear $400,000 or more for the year. In the realistic year, nothing dramatic happens at first. A regional drought pushes water costs up sharply, a cost this business genuinely cannot avoid passing on or absorbing. A handful of aging members don't renew, and new membership sales slow in a softer local economy. Deferred maintenance from a tighter previous year, a irrigation repair put off, a bunker renovation delayed, quietly compounds into a larger repair bill. None of it makes headlines, but margin compresses sharply on that same $1.5 million in revenue, and the owner's take-home falls to well under half of the good year's number, on the exact same 150 acres, with the exact same clubhouse, surrounded by homeowners who still expect the grass outside their windows to look exactly the way it did the day they bought the house. That's the business. Nobody was ever really selling golf. For most of this industry's history, they were selling the view out the back window of a house nearby, and the day the last lot sold, somebody had to find out, often for the very first time, whether the grass could actually pay for itself.